I went first with this story. So I didn't feel intimidated by the fact that I didn't canter around on the back of 2 white ponies. I did once manage to stand on my 10-2 roan called Kelly, but it didn't end well. Pony Club was a really big part of what I did, and I had a very cool pony called Max who I evented, and for a short period of time wanted to be the next kind of, Ginny Lang, Ian Stark. They were the people on my bedroom wall when I was little. But then actually I discovered that I was really not brave enough to do that. And Max also didn't like big fences all that much, but was quite good at prancing around a little bit fancy. So I started more down the dressage route when I had him probably at sort of 13, 14 years old. I hate going after you. And you, actually. Can I just keep going first, please? Thanks. And she rang my sister and was like, tell her to let its neck out. And it was like, yeah, even from 100 metres away on the bank, you can still tell me what I need to do. And I mean, funnily enough, she really couldn't help me warm up and things normally. We didn't really, it was that typical like, oh, Mum, shut up. But, now, and actually even then, she was still one of the people that I would listen to so much and had a lot of respect for. And my dad has a face. Like, we get on really well, but he has a face that if the face is out, it's like, back off. Behave. So as soon as that face comes out, you're like, okay, yeah, wind your neck in, mate. So yeah, horses and the people that you have around you, your family and your friends, are such a massive part of it. I mean, I can see exactly how stepping off your back step is like stepping out of a plane. That's crazy. I'm impressed that you managed to convince yourself that that back step was 10,000 feet.
Let me ask you this.
It's about respect and trust, and that is a two-way thing. So it has to go horse to rider, rider to horse. And, I want all my horses to trust me, but I do also want them to respect me. So when I ask something of them, I'm going to get a constructive answer. But equally, I have to respect them and listen to them and what they're saying. Do it's a funny one because it really is quite surreal. You have points where you're just like, did it actually even happen? Because of the circumstances of it and how it really came around so quick. And, then actually we were in Paris we were away for 12 days, in Paris for 10. And then, you have this huge build-up, quite a lot of waiting around. We did one test, then we had 3 more days of resting. And then the team test and the final were all very quickly, overdone and dusted. Freestyle's done. And everyone's like, okay, bye, out of the stables. We need you gone now. And, you get home at 6:30 the next morning, having driven through the night to get back. And it's like, ooh, that was weird. But I think... I probably spent the most money on photos that I've ever spent in my life. I'm very lucky in that my travelling groom, and she's a really good friend, Kim, also an excellent photographer. But in Paris, she was not allowed to use her camera because the lens was too big and she didn't have accreditation. So, yeah, you've got to have press accreditation if you have a camera lens over 20 centimetres long. There you go. That's something that you've learned tonight. So, yeah, I've had to actually buy photos. And I think I probably spent, as much on photos as... I don't even want to think about it because I bought them from that many different photographers. So, my thing when I'm thinking, did this actually really happen, is to just go and have a look through those pictures. And... that is pretty cool, just to look at my amazing pony. So I think that we've got 2 things that we have to address. I think that we have social licensing, which is about your general public. And then I think we have the issue within our industry, which is what actually feeds out into the general public as well. So if we immerse ourselves in negativity and we only look for what is wrong, that is what goes out into the wider world. That is what your journalists pick up on, and it's what comes around again and again. And, I really see this as an opportunity to be better and to move forward with the emphasis on moving forward. I think that we have to be better communicators. I think we have to be willing to be transparent. You know, I want to feel like somebody can walk onto my yard and watch me riding my horses, and I could have a discussion with them about what I was doing and why. And they still might not agree with it because they might, you know, but I would want to feel like I could justify it honestly and truly and communicate that in a positive way. And I think in terms of, you know, we need to get out there the fact that our horses, well, no, let's start a little bit earlier than that. I mean, you have horses, everybody here has horses, because you love them. Just take your top off and be shut up with it, okay?
Look, we'll pull the Love Island story out if we get stuck, all right?
Careful, boys, careful.
You've asked Ben to take his shirt off twice.
I know. And it's going to be a third time. I mean, the thing is that I've just heard so much about it. And I'm like, Britain's Got Talent, Love Island. I mean, come on.
Have you only heard about it? Or you've seen photographic evidence?
I haven't seen photographs. Basically, this actually comes from the podcast that I did with him, where Jenny, who organises the podcast, is just like, if we get to 10,000 followers, Ben will take his shirt off. If we get to 20,000 followers, Ben will take his shirt off. So I'm just picking up the mantra, really. Seriously.
One thing I would say...
I've just seen a picture of Ben with his top off. Not bad.
Well,
yeah, all right.
I'm going with Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft.
No, hang on now. That's not the same as last night. You're just throwing different names about, and you're always like, it's too specific. We had this conversation.
Well, last night it was...
It was like late 90s Jennifer Love Hewitt, and I was like, you should still love her when she's old and fat and wrinkly. Like, it's not okay that you just have that one thing and then ditch her. Come on now.
Peppa Pig.
I thought you'd grown as a person.